Good evening, all of you. And before I start saying something, let me wish all of you good health and pray for your and your family's well-being in these times of COVID crisis. Thank you, Mr. Amarjeet Singh Chandiok ji, for inviting me and for giving me this privilege of gracing this occasion. And I have no words to express my gratitude to Ms. Pushpa Gupta, whom I have known for almost 4 decades now, since her childhood, and who has been a very passionate worker in every activity that she takes on her hand. And this new innovative activity, which is going to be very, very beneficial and in times to come develop as a very great reform in our judicial delivery system. I have to congratulate all of you for that. Thank you, Priya Hingorani ji, for being a part of this function and ensuring that we all meet today evening, though virtually, but I think this virtual meeting also in times to come will prove that coronavirus, though unfortunately it has left very bad scars on the society and it has caused a lot of hardships for people all across the globe. But some of the better things that will emerge out of this suffering shall be the new normals that will be created for the society if we are going to follow them in future times also. And these virtual meetings and virtual sessions will prove to be a great asset for all of us in our future life. I am happy to know that this very passionate activity has the blessings of our Honorable Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud ji, who is also the chairman of the E-Committee of Supreme Court of India. We have some very great luminaries like Honorable Mr. Justice Madan Lokur, Honorable Mr. Justice Kurian Joseph, and Honorable Mr. Justice Kanan, who are patrons of this particular movement. And we have some of the other great luminaries who are helping this movement grow in a big way as advisors. And of course, when we take the name of Mr. Shriram Panchu ji, we know that India can never forget his contribution for 1.35 billion Indians. He will always be remembered in history for his historic contribution. Ms. Sheila Balsari ji, Ms. Leila Olapelli ji, Ms. Uma Ramanathan ji, Mr. J.L.N. Murthy, Mr. Pradeep Diwan, and Mr. A.L. Jawad. Also, I have to thank the editorial board, Anita Sahni ji, Lalit Mohini Bhar ji, Aman Hingorani ji, Sarita Kapoor ji, and the research team which was introduced just now, Sangeeta Sodhi ji, Reema Bhandari ji, Prabhav Rally ji, Suresh PG ji, Manika Vohra Agrawal ji, also so many others who had helped us in successfully introducing this movement to the whole country today. Pooja Anand ji, Kiran Kalra ji, Sandhya Kohli ji, Thankanchan Padmanabhan ji, Anil Bakshi ji and many others. I know I have not been able to take the names of many significant contributors to this movement. I know we are also joined by very active contributors to this mediation movement from almost a dozen states in India. I know this evening is not only about people joining us in India, but I have been told that people in America, Singapore, Bangladesh have also joined us and have also contributed to the e-mediation writings. I am also told that a lot of doctors with whom I think everybody has a close association in the society for obvious reasons, they have also joined the fraternity of lawyers today to help and contribute in this movement in whatever way they can. So I have to first of all thank all of you for giving me this great privilege, and it's beyond my vocabulary and linguistic abilities to really describe the sense of satisfaction that I derive after being part of this function. Most of the people in this country and across the globe know Dr. Harshvardhan mainly as a health activist or a doctor who has been associated with the field of health for over 4 or 5 decades. You all know I started my public life 27 years back as a health minister in Delhi and have also served as Union Health Minister 2 times in 2014 and then again back in 2019, and also worked with the World Health Organization for many years as an advisor to the regional director for the Southeast Asia regional countries. But not many in the country will remember that when I started my public life in 1993, I was not only the Health Minister of Delhi, but I was also the Law Minister of Delhi, and I also had the charge of legislative affairs at that time. And I had the privilege and the great pleasure of working very closely with the legal fraternity. I remember those 2 years of my association with the legal fraternity, with the advocates, with the Bar Association. I know Mr. Amarjit Singh ji had been a former very popular president of the Delhi Bar Association. I fondly remember that function in Tees Hazari in 1994, I suppose, when you had celebrated the Diamond Jubilee of your bar. And the Honorable Chief Justice of Supreme Court, Justice Ahmadi, was gracing that function, and I was part of that function as Law Minister in Delhi. That fond association with the advocates all over the city with many senior judges. Many of them have retired by now, but I still have very fond and very nostalgic memories and relationships with them. I keep in touch with them, keep myself aware about their well-being. And I remember that during those 2 years as law minister, this particular aspect where millions of people continue to suffer because they have been denied the fruits of the justice being delivered to them because of hundreds and thousands and millions of cases pending in the courts. And we all know that justice delayed is almost like justice denied. I had very passionately, with the help of the Bar Association and also with the help of the senior judges, started and passionately took it forward, the movement of the Lok Adalats, and had been part of many of those Lok Adalats at that time. Your present initiative of starting and making mediation within the courts as a movement with the help of institutionalized mechanisms and giving support to it, giving innovation to it, and right now involving people all across the world for creating these e-mediation writings. I am sure this has a huge potential. And when Pushpa Gupta ji said that you people are all doing it with lot of passion and lot of conviction, and you all want to ensure that there is peace all around. We have to improve the happiness coefficient of the society and of our Indians. We know that in spite of over 70 years of our independence, still a large majority of people in India, they suffer because of multiple reasons. And I think those who have to knock at the doors of the courts for getting their day-to-day sufferings alleviated, they have to face a lot of hardships. The delivery of justice is not so easy. It's very expensive. It's very cumbersome. And you have to wait for long years to be able to actually get some real fruits out of that. It is in this background that I feel that these mediation activities within the courts, whether it is inside the Supreme Court or the High Courts or in the lower courts, supported by some visionary advocates, this is going to prove to be a great blessing for the poor people of India. I will only request all of you who are involved in this passionately to make sure that this doesn't remain a symbolic activity. It should become a big, huge movement. And it is not within the premises of the courts that we should be able to deliver the fruits of mediation to our people, but outside also in the society, many people must come forward to not only resolve the disputes or the legal battles which are lying unattended within the courts, but if we look at the society all around us, we will find that in every corner, in every section, in every field, in every aspect, we have so many clashes, so many differences of opinions, so many people unnecessarily fighting with each other because of ego clashes, etc., etc. And this is where sane advice from good people, sane contribution from committed, selfless people in the society can really help all of us bring happiness and cheer on everybody's face. So I see this mediation activity not as a legal activity happening within the premises of the courts, but I can visualize that this has a huge dimension for the society and for the whole world. Already a lot of our religious preachers and saints, through their messages to the society, they have been appealing to people to come out of their small egos, to come out of their personal selfish interests and work and live for the well-being of others. Swami Vivekanand ji had very nicely said that they only live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. And I think that is our Indian culture, that is our Indian sanskar. And I am very happy that very, very senior people who are either contributing to this new movement, and I have been told that the present Chief Justice of India, Justice Bobde, has also been very actively contributing and blessing for the success of this movement in a big way. I know this movement has been running for a bit of time now, but I can visualize that now you can take it forward in a big way. These e-mediation writings are just the beginning. And this virtual meeting, I think we need to have more and more activities virtually now. It saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of energy, it saves a lot of money, and it makes the life of many people much better with small initiatives. I always feel sad when I see the plight of millions of people who have to just go to the courts, not only in the city in which they live, but they have to travel to distant cities all across India for many cases of many nature, and then they have to just go there and register their attendance, and for that itself they have to spend thousands of rupees. I think this is high time when the judiciary should also very aggressively post-corona pursue many innovative initiatives in this direction, when many things that happen inside the courtroom can also become virtual. People can record their attendance virtually. They should not be allowed to ask to travel long distances. I am sure the judiciary and the very well-meaning judges and advocates and the leaders of the bar associations like Mr. Chandyok and others, they will certainly brainstorm about these issues for future times, work for introducing new reforms in the functioning of the judicial justice delivery system in the country. And I am sure that once you start working, sky is the limit. As Mr. Chandyok rightly said, we are starting from a drop. But when a drop will become an ocean, you cannot imagine that. I have my personal experience of my own life. When 17 days after I joined public life, on 3rd of December 1993, as Health Minister and also as Law Minister, I was blessed by God on 20th of December 1993 to work for a polio-free India. And with the support of the whole country, we are now breathing in a polio-free India, which has not seen a case of polio for last 9 years. This could be possible because of the contribution of the whole country. But I enjoyed the blessing of God to dream about it. This is what I want all of you to dream about, something which may appear to be seemingly difficult and impossible to achieve. But I can tell you and assure you with my own experience that if you have the right innovative ideas in your mind, because these days the innovation coefficient and the new ideas and the ideas economy, they have become far more important than many other things. I look forward to your participation in many of such endeavors, and I can only assure you on my own behalf, on behalf of at least my 3 ministries, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the Ministry of Science and Technology, also the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and also on behalf of the World Health Organization, that any endeavor on your side for the betterment of value systems and the delivery of value systems in the society, wherever you put your efforts into that, you can always be assured of the support of Dr. Harshvardhan, not as a leader, but as one of the soldiers for your movement. Once again, I thank Ms. Pushp Gupta ji, all the organizers, Mr. Chandyok, for your presence in this function, Priya ji and all other distinguished members of the legal and the medical fraternity who are present here, for giving me this privilege. Let me at the end express my concern. I saw many of you there speaking and participating in this function, but most of you are not wearing any mask. I can only tell you that if you have to protect yourself from corona virus, I know there is no vaccine, there is no medicine, but maintaining a safe distance from others and wearing a mask, and also ensuring that you give adequate attention to hand hygiene and respiratory etiquettes. This is probably the most potent social vaccine. Please make good use of this social vaccine. Nobody in this world is immune to coronavirus. Don't think that you can protect yourself without a mask also. Nothing is going to happen to you. I wish nothing happens to any one of you, but I can only request you to at least follow the basic precautions that are needed to make you safe and also to make your family members and your friends safe. With these few words, once again I wish you all good health and pray to Almighty for the happiness and safety of all your family members. Namaskar, Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.